Welcome to the Can't Make This Up podcast, and I'm your host, Courtney Evans. Today's topic is about passion and just doing it. I want to talk about in life or in sports, you got to have passion for something or you just doing it. Everybody sees the highlights, but nobody talks about what really goes on. This is the Can't Make This Up podcast. First, we're going to talk about passion. How do it applies to our everyday life? In life, you got to have passion for whatever you're doing, whether that's working out, going to school, raising a family, raising kids, working on a job. You got to have passion for what you do. You know, some people may get a degree, go in the field, they don't have passion for it. They look at the money part. Yes, we go into degrees and jobs and schools and stuff like that, and we look at, okay, yeah, we got to make the money. But if you don't have passion for it, you're not going to get better at it. You're going to do bare minimum. So when you start doing bare minimum, that means you're not really enabled or qualified to move along or move ahead. You're stuck in that situation. So not having passion for something, whether the things that I mentioned, you're not going to put all your energy into it long term. Let's talk about passion in sports, especially basketball. As a basketball coach, former player, being around basketball pretty much all my life, ever since I can remember, I always had passion for the game. I always had passion on how to get better. I always had passion on watching other players, how I can learn from other players, how I can learn from coaches, how I can learn, different moves, how I can get better on my game. That was a passion part of it now. Even to this day, even though I'm not able to play basketball like that due to various health reasons with my leg, I still have passion for the game of basketball. I still go in the gym and still get excited like I'm the one that's suiting up ready to play. So sometimes when I see from players to parents to coaches that don't have passion but want results right away, I look at it differently and I understand that some people just don't have that. You can't make a person have passion for the game of basketball or any sport. You can't make them have passion for that. That comes from the heart. So I'm going to start with players. Sometimes we are in an era where, you know, us as parents, coaches, leaders, people in the world, we allow, or we may not encourage kids to say, you know what, strive past doing your best. I can get more out of you. I can get more. You can do more. You can get better at this, and this. Sometimes we get them a pass for that, and then it's more like a false hope. It's more like, okay, you have kids or players believing they're better than what they are. And when you challenge them to have passion or get better or do more, it's either they embrace it or they result to that or say, well, I'm just doing this just to be doing it. Or I'm just doing it because I feel like doing it. My friends don't feel like doing it, or I'm here. So I look at it as, if we as parents, players, we as coaches, if we don't have a passion and we trying to coach young men or women and we trying to be around a game of basketball, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to have passion. They're not going to have a certain kind of work ethic. They're not going to feel like they can't get to the next level. So here's another segment. Here's another thing I want to talk about when it comes to passion. Parents, if you have kids who are in sports that are very, very talented, you have to have the passion just like them to help them to get better every year and get to the next level. So what I mean by that is, how you going to help them fulfill their dream in sports? Parents, you have to be the one to do more for your kids that play sports on and off the court, from the classroom to the court. Yes, they have teachers, coaches that's going to help them along the way. Yes, they may have that. Some don't. But you have to take it upon yourself as a parent to have the passion and the want to get your kids to the next level. Some kids naturally have those gifts to where the parents have, a setup to where, they get the right exposure, they in the right environment, they're in the right situation, and, they prepare and they get known. They get known, you know, on the scene, on the basketball scene, college scene early. Then you have other kids may have the talent, they just not in the right situation from AAU to high school, or they may, just don't have the right type of exposure. That's where parents, you got to have the passion to be able to learn the game, learn how to promote, learn how to get your kid in the right situation so they can be seen by the right people, so they can be able to obtain scholarships and get better trainers and all that. A lot of times, I hear that some parents, they don't know. One thing is that social media is free. You know, back in the day, and I'm not an older guy, but we didn't have social media like we have now. Social media is a gift and a curse. And what I mean by that is sometimes social media can hurt, but it also can help, especially when you're trying to promote a brand, a person, a player, or promote yourself. Social media is one of those things where you can say, you know what, within 5 minutes, I can have a post out and I can have people around the world know, okay, see my video or my highlight or see something that I posted. So that part of the game is you got to take advantage of. So we're going to flip flop back and forward to passion and just doing it. So let's talk about some aspect of just doing it when you're playing sports. And in sports, you got a lot of players that just do it. You got a lot of coaches that just do it. So if you are a player or a type of coach that's not willing to get better on your game every day, you're not willing to get better. You're not willing to, perfect your craft, if so be. If you're not willing to do those things, then you're just doing it. You're just going through the motions. And sometimes when it goes through the motions, it trickles down. It can trickle down through the team. It can trickle down from up in the staff. So, it's a thing when I was in the military that we used to always have, people say, I need leaders, we don't need followers. But we always say, I was saying was, we need leaders. We don't just need contributors. Yeah, you could be a small part that can contribute in a good way or bad way. They got bad contributors too. You could be a person that contribute bad. You could be a person that contribute good. One bad apple can ruin a whole bunch. But if all those apples are good, then everybody be good. So as a coach, when I am walking in these gyms and I started this podcast to help educate from what I learned over the time, me learning, having kids played in college, helping get kids in college. I know what these college coaches are looking for. I know what it takes to promote an athlete. So when I hear some stories and I talk to some parents and they'd be like, well, the school ain't promoting me, or my AAU team, they're not promoting me, or they're not doing this. At the end of the day, that's your responsibility to promote your kid first. Anything after that, you got to consider that extra. It's your job first to build a highlight, build a social media, Find them a trainer to get better at their craft. Make sure they doing their grades. Make sure that their social media pages is up to date. You know, that's the passion part. That's the part that the players gotta the parents gotta have passion just as much as the player. And you gotta have it to where, you gotta be willing to get your kid or your player or coach, get that player to the next level. Get them able to be like, you know what, I'm gonna help as many kids as I can to get to the next level. That's the passion part. The part where you just doing it is going through the motions. We got a normal practice. We got a normal workout. Kobe Bryant never did things normal. Michael Jordan never did things normal. They always did things outside of the box. They got a bunch of other players that did things outside of the box. Russell Westbrook, those guys. Will Chamberlain's, the Larry Birds, they did things outside of the box. But they also had a supporting cast. They also had great coaches that held them accountable. Just doing it also can lead to, I deserve to be rewarded. We in an era where we deserve to be rewarded because of what we know, not what you know, is who you know. And sometimes as coaches and as players, as coaches and as parents, we don't want our kids or players to face adversity. So we get into rewarding. We get into rewarding and saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to reward you for not putting in the work. I'm going to reward you because I know this person, I know you, I know this and this. We're not helping that kid. We are hurting that kid. We are hurting them on the court and we hurting them off the court. Because when that kid gets in the workplace, and sometimes I know people say, well, they come from a wealthy family, or they may come from a family that have the resources and the money, or this and this, right? Well, we hear all the time. They got a lot of people that got money over years that was unhappy and committed suicide, had all the money in the world. And some of them committed suicide because they was unhappy, because they had to live up to a certain standard, or they wasn't used to being told, no, you can't do this. You can't do this in life. Or no, you have to go about it this way. So us as parents and coaches, when we reward not hard work, not putting in extra hours, it's expected on and off the court. So as a coach, I reward hard work. And I also reward the kids that may not be as talented as the other kids, that may be the junkyard dogs of the team, that do the little things, that put in the work, come to practice and do all that. That's the type of kids I like coaching. I also like coaching the talented ones, but I want the ones that work harder than the talent. We got to stop rewarding players things in life that don't require hard work. Now let's flip to the passion side. If you had passion about anything, whether it's in life or sports, well, guess what? It's easier for me to coach you. It's easier for me to be around you because I can learn from you, because I know a person that got passion, they want to get better every day. They want to get better at anything that they do. They put their all in all to it. So that's the type of people I want to, I'd rather be around, because I can learn from you just like they can learn from me. You know what I'm saying? We live in an era and times now where it is adversity. I don't want to face adversity. And the kids ain't get soft, the parents did. The coaches got soft. It ain't the kids, it's us. We got soft. We the ones got in our feeling. We the ones, we don't want to face adversity. We don't want them to face adversity. But when things hit the fan and they don't perform and this, we mad at them. No, we need to be mad at yourself. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, what do I need to do to get better? What do I need to do to continuously to grow as a person and help people that's under me grow as a person, because they looking at you as a leader. Parents, whether you know it or not, you're leaders. You're a parent, but you're a leader. What you do inside your house carries outside the front door. That's how I was taught. So if you got passion for something, you're not going to take it for granted. But if you're just doing it, you're going to go through the motions. That's just a known fact. You're going to go through the motions. You're going to do things that is bare minimum. So let's talk about those bare minimum things and how does it translate to sports. We mentioned that earlier. Okay, not putting in the extra work, not learning the game, not watching film, not being a great teammate. So when all these things come into play, now let's show you how passion can hurt you at times in sports or in life. Because when you're in a group or you're in a setting and you have passion and 90% of the people around you don't have the same kind of passion as you, you're trying to get to point A, they're stuck in point B. You, the person that has the passion, have to understand everybody's not going where you are going. You may have more eyes on you. You may have more to gain than lose. So you have to challenge that passion to not that passion overflow into just doing it. I'm going to say that one more again. You have to challenge that passion to not let it overflow into just doing it. Because when you have passion and you're around a setting or people that doesn't have that, you have to constantly challenge yourself to stay locked in to have passion, whether that's on the court, teammate, attitude, doing better, the whole 9 yards. I can't let what nobody else doing distract what I'm trying to do, because I got more to lose. I got more people watching me. I got more to gain in this. So you know what? I'm going to let everyone know, no matter what setting I'm in, I'm still going to have the love for the game. I'm still going to have the passion. Yeah, I'm going to feel some kind of way, or I'm going to feel like this, but I'm going to have the passion. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to make sure every time I get on the court, or make sure in life or wherever I'm at, I'm going to do the best that I can. And I'm going to go 100%. I'm going to go 100 yards, 100 yards in football, 100%. You're going to keep moving. That's the ones who get to the next level. That's the ones who appreciate being a part of something that you love doing. So it carries over in life or in sports. So as a former coach, how can I get the betterment out of you? How, as a coach, that I can get every outside of you to where I know for a fact you ain't going through the motions. I'm not going to reward you because I feel to believe I know you, or I feel to believe, you know what, you know somebody. I'm not in the business for that. I'm going by who want it, and who don't want it, then I only can help you along the way. When I find out you don't want it, that means I'm wasting my time and you wasting your time. So when that happens, you wasting my time, you wasting your time. I think you need to find something else that better suits you, because right now you 50% passionate and you 50% just doing it. So you may say half and half, but over time, if your passion, if you're not locked into it, that just do it going to keep going till it's just to the point where I'm going to just show up. Now, guess what? I don't have the passion for it. So the people that have passion for it, that want to do it, you mad at them, or you don't care, or you're not going to give maximum effort, because this is not your passion for this. So you don't care if you get to the next level in life. You don't care if you get that promotion on the job. You don't care if you get that scholarship. You don't care if you get better or get stronger or eat healthy. You don't care. So when you don't care about something, it's just there. So what we do as adults, we reward that. Sometimes we reward the ones that don't care. Adults, coaches, parents. Unteachable kids and players become unemployable adults. 9 times out of 10, they struggle in the workplace. 9 times out of 10, they struggle when they go to college. Because all they life, they always been spoon-fed. Or not what you know, who you know. Or you know what? I'm over here, I deserve this. That's just like players in any sport, JV and varsity. JV and varsity players. Which one's gonna have the passion to get on a varsity team and stay there? Which one's gonna have the notion to just do it? So let me give you a prime example, players, coaches, and parents. Maybe this can help you guys understand what I'm talking about. I'm looking at the players that put in the extra work. The kid that may not be as talented as others, but every time he step on the court, he giving maximum effort. I can take that kid and make you better if you have the passion to want to do it. Basketball is a skill. You can teach that skill, but I can't teach you heart and passion. It's either you have it or you don't. So don't hate on the ones or don't dislike the ones that got passionate for something that you don't like. Find your niche, find your calling, find what you do best, and that's you. Everybody ain't gonna be a basketball player. Everybody ain't gonna be a football player or etc. or baseball or whatever. That's understandable. That don't mean you're a failure in life. You might be a engineer, a doctor, whatever. That's where you might be. Your passion may be over here. But we in the era where it's adversity and entitlement. We want to duck adversity, but we embrace entitlement because we deserve to have it. And we have coaches and parents and players feel that they deserve to have it, and players feel that, well, I'm supposed to have it. Says who? Says who? Word of advice, players. And I'm going to start with the players with this. Stop worrying about what other players are doing. Have your own lane, have your own passion. Because if you watching what the next player is doing, you ain't getting better. I'm going to say that one more again. If you watching what the next player is doing, you're not getting better. Parents, stop making excuses for when your child don't do certain things. 9 times out of 10, it's your fault you have them in that type of situation. Some will say, I can't control that situation. Yes, you can. Because you can do stuff outside of that situation to help your child get better. Social media, weight room, trainers, etc. Put them in exposure. All those things, that's something parents can control and do. Coaches, if you don't know the game of basketball, learn it. Just because coaches, you may have played basketball, been around basketball all your life, that don't make you a coach. What makes a coach, how I was taught, learn every day, learn from other coaches, learn how to get the best out your players, reward hard work, be a leader, all those intangibles. All those intangibles make great coaches. And I'm going to say this, and I know some of y'all may feel some kind of way. YouTube have saved a lot of coaches, a lot of basketball trainers, skill trainers. I'm going to say that again. YouTube have saved a lot of coaches and trainers in this day and age today. Because, in my opinion, it went from passion to let me Google it, let me do this drill, or let me do this. But if you don't have the passion and the game and the knowledge in your heart and in your mind, you'll never make the proper adjustment. You're never able to get these kids next to the next level. You're never able to do that. One thing I always learned as a coach is you got to have the passion, and I keep harping on passion. You got to have the decision-making skills to make hard decisions and live with it. Win or lose, you got to live with those decisions. Parents, win or lose, you got to live with those. Players, win or lose, it's your choice to get better. Parents, it's your choice to put them in the right situation to get better. That's all choices in life. That's all saying you just want to do it, or you have the passion. Because just doing it is not going to get you that way. The only thing, a person that I know that just did it or just doing it is Nike. Phil Knight. He just did it, and it was very, very successful for him. But he had to put out the hard work. He had to get behind the scene. He had to do all. He had a passion for wanting to sell sneakers. He had a passion for that. And his slogan was, just do it. I'm not going to wait on nobody else. I'm not going to wait on nobody else to do this. I'm going to surround myself around people that got the passion about tennis shoes and sneakers like I do. And it worked for him. So in between passion and just doing it, you have environment killers. What are environment killers? And I'm going to touch on this. This is going to be the last for this segment. What are environment killers? Environment killers are going through the motions. You're in a setting where no one wants to get better. You may be in a workplace where everybody cool with not getting a promotion. You're on a team where no one wants to work on their game or look at film. No one wants to put in the extra hours. You may be in a setting to where coaches may not know how to do this or do that. So, environment killers, all of those things, if you're not a strong-minded, strong-headed person, can be like a weight on your shoulder, your arms, it can weigh you down. So the great ones, they conquer through that. They fight through that. They overcome that. Do it bother them? Yes, it does. Sometimes they may show it, sometimes they may don't. But it challenges them to get better and better and better and better. So, and once they get to that point the way they get better and better and better, guess what happens? Anything outside of that, it will never distract them like that. They'll take it as a grain of salt and move forward with it. You know, they're going to eat it and spit it out and keep moving. So the message of the day is surround yourself with people who have passion. If you're in a situation where you dealing with people that's just doing it, stick to the passion side. The passion side is over here. The just do it side is over here. I'm gonna stay on this side, y'all stay on this side. And we're gonna keep a wall in between that. I'm gonna keep moving forward. Y'all gonna keep going backwards. Because the one that's just doing it, 9 times out of 10, those ones envy and are jealous of the ones that got passion. Because they don't have the work ethic like the guy or the girl over there got passion. They don't have that want and drive to get better. They figure it's supposed to, I'm entitled to this. Or someone then told me, you know what, I'm gonna make sure you get this, even though I know you ain't ready for it. I'm gonna reward you not knowing you not ready for it. Because I feel to believe, okay, you deserve this. But I know you ain't ready for it. I know I haven't gave you the skills. I know you don't have the skills, but I'm gonna reward you anyway. And sometimes that right there crosses over into the passion part. But the ones with the passion part, they take it for a grain of salt and they look at it and they say, I never want to be on that side of the street of just doing it. Because I know one thing, just doing is not going to get me to the next level. Whether it's mind, body, or soul, it's not going to get me to the next level. It's not going to make me great. It's not going to help me get better. So this is the Can't Make It Up podcast. And we're going to have these sessions that I'm going to be talking about various topics, about life itself, about sports. It's going to be very harsh. It's going to be real. It's going to be true. And it's going to bring a lot of stuff to the forefront that I believe that need to be discussed. I'm going to be bringing guests on board that's going to talk about the same things that, we're talking about, and they're going to be able to voice their opinion. So stay tuned. Passion over just doing it. That's a powerful segment. That's a powerful saying. Passion over just doing it. Don't be the one that don't have the passion. Avoid the ones that's just doing it.